Over the last few months, Americans from all walks of life helplessly watched our economy come to a screeching halt. Businesses were forced to shut their doors, millions filed for unemployment, and the stock market crashed, turning financial dreams into financial nightmares. Now, more than ever, we need to fight for our financial future and for America's financial future. And that's why today, I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm going to open up my laptop and show you what I'm personally doing to fight for my financial dreams so my family and I can make those dreams a reality. And then I'm going to invite you to join me on a new mission, a mission to help you and every other American who watches this event make $1 million or more as the gains stack up year after year after year. And it's an ambitious goal, I know. As you'd expect, to reach our goal, we'll have to go a bit rogue. We're going to cast aside the traditional strategies peddled to us by Wall Street. We're going to try something entirely new, something simple, fun, and profitable. So simple, it only takes me about 10 minutes a month to use. And so fun that I actually enjoy investing. And so profitable. I made more gains in 2 weeks than most professional investors make in 2 years. So, if you're the kind of person who believes in the American spirit, who believes that we control our own destiny, then lean in, because we're going to rip down every wall, cut every velvet rope, and break through every glass ceiling as we pave our own path to prosperity. This is the American Prosperity Summit.
Hello and welcome to the American Prosperity Summit. My name is John Burke and with me today is Sarah Palin. Sarah, welcome.
Thank you, John. I am so excited to be here spearheading this event.
Well, you know, Sarah, you've spent the last 2 decades fighting for the American people on the political front as the governor of Alaska, as a vice presidential candidate, as a contributor on Fox News, and along the way you've written 3 best-selling books, hosted multiple TV shows, and taken the liberal media head on. You got to think that you've been a voice for Main Street Americans. You've been a symbol of patriotism, a beacon of hope. You know, today you're making a shift from the political front to the financial front, tackling something we've never heard you speak about before: money. Why is that?
Well, John, over the last few months, I've talked with so many hardworking folks, everyone from teachers to nurses to mom and pop there on Main Street, small business owners. I can tell you, the vast majority of them, they're struggling to achieve the American dream. And they have worked so hard. They've saved, they've invested, they've done everything that they were told to do. But despite all that, they're still losing the war on the financial front. So I felt compelled to tackle the issue of money and prosperity directly.
That's great. And today, during the American Prosperity Summit, we're going to reveal what the real problem is. And more importantly, we're going to give our viewers a rogue solution, a secret weapon to rectify the situation, right?
That is right. And this secret weapon, it's powerful. It was designed by an investment legend, a man actually named the #1 investor, a man who walked away from Wall Street to help those of us on Main Street.
Yeah, well, help may be the understatement of the year. I mean, think about it. Thousands of ordinary Americans have already spotted 48 winning investments in a row thanks to this man. He even went on to recommend investments that went up 600%, 700%, and get this, Sarah, 800%. And it really doesn't look like he's slowing down.
I know. That's why I'm personally using this weapon to reach my own financial goals. It's a weapon that's simple, it's a lot of fun, and it's profitable. It's a weapon that I can use from right here on my own laptop.
And you know what? We're going to show everyone how it works in just a moment so that they too can access it using their computer, their phone, or their tablet, right?
Yeah, because anyone can use it no matter where they're at in life. In fact, I heard from a 91-year-old man the other day. He sees this weapon as a way for him to leave his 10 great-grandchildren a legacy. And I heard from a 42-year-old single mother also. She sees this all as a way to create financial stability for her 3 kids. I even heard from a 66-year-old IT consultant whose goal is to use it to double his $120,000 retirement account in 4 years.
Wow.
So again, no matter where you're at in life, whether you're 42 or 91, You can use this weapon to achieve your financial dreams.
That is fantastic. And Sarah, you have a really big goal to show each of our viewers how they can make $1 million.
Yep, that's right. Believe it or not. Yeah. It's a bold, ambitious goal, and I truly believe this is possible if they watch this entire event and if they see how to use this weapon.
Now, I've seen this secret weapon, and I have a full disclaimer here. This is different than anything you've ever seen before. It's a totally unique approach to investing in the stock market. And with that said, we have a packed event, so let's get started here. In the next few minutes, you'll see the real reason why so many people are struggling to achieve the American dream. In fact, the average retirement account is underfunded by 90%. And even if you think you're in a good financial position, you could be unknowingly losing up to half your profits. Then, you'll meet the man who created this secret weapon, a man who walked away from Wall Street, dropping clients such as Goldman Sachs, Credit Suisse, and Citibank in order to help those on Main Street, folks just like you. He'll even give you details on his #1 stock to buy today, a stock that he feels is destined to soar over 300% or more over the next few years. And finally, you're going to see how Sarah Palin is using this secret weapon to reach her financial goals in less than 10 minutes a month. Now, this weapon is simple, it's fun, and it's profitable. In fact, she made bigger gains on her investments in 2 weeks than most experts make in 2 years. But Sarah, before we dive into the secret weapon that you're using, I think it's important for our viewers to know why you chose it and how it has completely changed your life, because this is a personal journey for you, isn't it?
It is. So I should start with a bit of a confession, though. When it comes to my money and investing, like most people, I admit I'm not an expert. Since day one, I just handed my money over to a financial advisor, like so many people, just that same a financial advisor, in fact, that my dad uses, and I let him make the decisions for me. And sure, every year I'd get a calendar with my advisor's picture on it, and a big binder filled with financial jargon that I just didn't have time to read.
Yeah, but look, you have a family, you have a career, so you have to focus on that and sort of trust your advisor to do the rest.
Right. But, even when we'd meet, though, I felt like I needed a PhD in financing to understand all the mumbo jumbo. And I didn't ask many questions because I just felt kind of goofy asking. So I just trusted the guy.
Yeah.
Then one day, though, John, I noticed this big, beautiful house being built just down the road from my home. And it was more like a mansion with an indoor basketball court.
Okay.
I'm kind of jealous. Come to find out, the mansion belongs to the guy managing my money.
Wait a minute. It's his house. He's in the mansion?
Yeah.
Oh,
Good for him, though. Good, more power to him. But I kept thinking, well, how am I doing?
Yeah.
I took a deeper dive into my portfolio, and I was pretty disappointed. It wasn't horrible, but I guess I expected better.
All right, let me get this right. You got a calendar with his picture on it. He's got the mansion with the indoor basketball court. All right. I see the issue here. So what'd you do next?
Well, I am a do-it-yourself kind of gal. I figured if I can hunt down my own food in the Alaskan wilderness, I could hunt down my own profits in the financial wilderness. But here is what I quickly realized. I don't have the time to look at a company like Apple, maybe, and figure out if a $300 price tag for the stock is a good deal or a bad deal. Sure, I like its phones, but unless I do some research and really dig into its quarterly earnings or examine its profit margins, I won't know if I should buy it. It takes serious research to do that properly. As you said, I have a family that I love, and I want to be with my family. I don't have time to research companies and dissect financial information all day long. So investing on my own really wasn't an option. And I felt stuck.
Well, Sarah, I asked you to tell your personal story because I think most people watching right now can identify with what you've gone through. I know I certainly can. 100%, I'm all in. Your experience really summarizes the two options we have when it comes to investing. You've got option one, invest with a professional. Pay them to handle your money and cross your fingers that they make the right decisions. And then there's option two, invest on our own, do a lot of research, cross our fingers, and hope that we make the right decisions. But you know what? Both these options are flawed big time. I mean, you saw that. Many of our viewers have seen it. I've seen it. And they feel like you did. They feel stuck.
Yeah, that's right. But I didn't stay stuck for long. I knew there had to be a better way, and I didn't give up. I kept digging, and that led me to option 3, the secret weapon that makes investing fun, and it's really simple, and it's profitable. It allows me, without that degree in finance, to take control of my own investments in less than 10 minutes a month.
Wow, 10 minutes a month. And I can't wait to show our viewers this secret weapon. I know it's right there on your laptop, and they're going to see everything. You love it. I know they're going to love it too. But first, I really think it's important that our viewers understand how much money option 1 and option 2 are costing.
I agree. A lot of people watching right now, they might think that they're heading in the right direction, just like I did, but they're not. They're likely losing out on tens of thousands of dollars, even hundreds of thousands, and they don't even know it.
Well, you know what though, Sarah? I think most people know that something is off, right? The market has been so volatile, can really be hard to stomach. Now, a recent poll shows that 69% of Americans over 50 years of age say they're concerned about their retirement. 69%, Sarah.
I believe it. I guess it's even more than 69%. Because, John, what's really alarming is that most of these people, they don't think that they're going to be able to retire at all, and they're scared. They're skittish that their retirement dreams are turning into a retirement nightmare.
Nightmare. That is alarming. And this statistic might shed some light on why that is. Take a look at this. Now, research suggests a person should have at least $1 million saved before retiring. Yet the median retirement account for those over 55 is $98,000. So they are underfunded by 90%.
They're 1/10 of where they should be. That's why the goal of this event, it's to help everyone make that $1 million. We really just want to help people get from where they're at financially to where they should be.
I think it's really important to show our viewers why so many people are falling behind in a very concrete way, because the culprit might not be what they think.
Okay, let's take a look.
All right, great. Now, to do so, I'm going to share my screen with our viewers. Take a look at this. This is a compound interest calculator. So say you have $10,000 and you want to invest it in the stock market over a 40-year period. Well, the market goes up an average of 8% a year. So a $10,000 investment compounded, meaning you're reinvesting your gains, should amount to $217,000.
This really shows the power of the stock market. Most investments, like real estate, bonds, and the likes, they're not nearly this high, so that's a really solid return.
It is, but as you know, it usually doesn't end up this nice, and here's why. If people choose option 1 by giving their money to a financial advisor, they'll be charged a 2% management fee. That means the real return isn't 8%, it's 6%. And the results over time are devastating. It comes out to just $102,000, half the amount. Or the other way to say it is Wall Street takes 50% of the profits.
Ooh, it amazes me every time I see it broken down this way. I want to mention, you're being really conservative here. A new study shows that the typical 401k fees add up to over 2%. Some charge as much as 5%.
Wow.
Jack Bogle, the founder of Vanguard, he actually said that over our lifespan, Wall Street will take 79% of the profits, while Main Street stuck with 21%.
Yep.
He called it financial tyranny.
Well, that small fee really adds up too. And even using this conservative example, a $100,000 difference.
Yeah, God, you could use that money to take family vacations or pay off a mortgage or fund your kids' college tuition.
Or buy your own indoor basketball court.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Maybe build 2 of them.
Yeah.
All joking aside, though, the pitch Wall Street gives is that they can help us do better than the market average, so their small fee doesn't matter, they want us to believe. But we both know that's a bunch of bull.
It is. A Standard & Poor's study shows that 92% of active fund managers underperform their benchmark. 92%, Sarah.
That's why I'm here today, spearheading the American Prosperity Summit. Because while 92% of these managers, they're failing at the one job that they're paid to do right now, thanks to the secret weapon on this laptop, I'm doubling the returns of the stock market. And if I, this inexperienced investor, if I can do it, I know those who are watching, they can do it as well.
Now, see, I can't wait to see this, but First, we know that option one is bad, right? It doesn't make any sense to give your money over to a financial planner and pay them to underperform the market. But what about option two, investing on your own?
That doesn't pan out either, John, believe me, because while we just slammed Wall Street for taking 50% of the profits, to be fair, individual investors, we do even worse.
Yeah, we do. You know, a new study shows that they only average a 4% annualized return. So let's show the math again. Instead of an 8% return, they get about a 4% return. And that $10,000 investment will only amount to, get this, $48,000. That's 75% less than what they should be getting.
You know, I think it's important to talk about why these returns are so low. It's not because people are stupid. It's because we're hot-blooded Americans and we react. It's in our nature. We kind of shoot ourselves in the foot.
You know, it's so interesting. Studies from Yale University prove that when we see the stock market falling, we panic and we sell at the worst time. And then when we see the stock market soaring higher, we're enticed to buy at exactly the wrong time. Everyone tries to buy low, sell high, but in reality, we end up buying high and selling low.
Yeah, I know, and that's not a good equation. Again, not to mention the amount of time that all takes. If you're like me, you don't want to spend hours and hours studying charts and company financials every week. You have better things to do.
Oh, well, I agree. You got work to do. You got a life to live, right? So these calculations are proof that option one and option two hurt your returns. One can see the returns just get decimated. $10,000 should turn into over $200,000, but with option one, Wall Street takes half the amount and you're left with about $100,000. With option two, bad emotional decisions leave us with 75% less, about $50,000. And this leads to an even bigger problem. People get stuck, then they throw in the towel. They simply bow out and decide not to invest. According to a recent survey, nearly half of Americans aren't investing at all.
That's almost un-American. Think about it. Our forefathers, they got on a boat, they sailed across the ocean for a shot at prosperity. They had to fight for it. Yet somewhere along the way, John, many of us lost that boldness to fight for what's right, to fight for what belongs to us. And we need that boldness back. Right now is the perfect time, really, to invest and to be bold.
That is fascinating. So, going rogue, you sailed across a financial ocean to achieve your goals and choose option three, a bold solution. It's a secret weapon that would make investing your money simple, fun, and profitable.
That is right, and it is a bold solution for anyone. It doesn't matter how old you are, what your income is, what your investing experience is.
Now listen, I don't want to give away the surprise, but in a moment, we're going to show you how using option three, using the secret weapon on Sarah's laptop, could help you turn this $10,000 that we talked about into as much as $1 million. Again, we'll dive into that in just a moment. But first, Sarah, tell us more about your journey. Explain how you discovered the secret weapon and how it helped your investments make more in 2 weeks than most experts make in 2 years.
Sure, absolutely. For most of us, navigating the stock market, as mentioned, it's hard. It's a bit like going on a hike by yourself through the rough Alaskan wilderness. It's dangerous to do it alone. You could get lost, a storm could come, or a wild animal could attack you. But if you had a guide, a person who maybe has hiked that trail hundreds of times, you'd then get to your destination safely.
And you'd get to enjoy the freedom of being on a beautiful hike. That makes sense to me.
Well, for most of us, investing is the same way. Think of it that way. When we try to invest on our own, we're trying to hike through a financial Alaska filled with unknowns. We need a guide if we want to get to our destination safely and if we want to enjoy the journey. So imagine for a moment that you could have a guide in the stock market. And not just any guide, but rather the guide who was crowned the #1 investor by Barron's. The guide who actually managed money for Goldman Sachs, Credit Suisse, Citibank. Actually, the guide who made 48 winning investment recommendations in a row. Imagine being able to look over this guy's shoulder, seeing his model portfolio along with all of his research, all of his insights. Would that give you an advantage with your investments?
Well, yes, absolutely. If I could see all of this, I could just look at his stock picks and choose to make the same investments in my account, right?
Exactly. So that's what I'm doing. Well, something even better. You see, I found this number one investor, and I'm able to see everything he's recommending, all of his research, all of his insights, right from my laptop. Or if I choose, my phone, iPad, desktop, whatever device that I want to use. He and his team, they're even going to text me to let me know about any updates. And best of all, John, this guide makes investing in the stock market simple. In fact, it takes less than 10 minutes a month to follow his research and to take action. He makes investing fun. Most importantly, though, he does make investing profitable. He looks for stocks that are going to survive, they're going to thrive in any market condition. And just as important, he knows which stocks to avoid, which is why within the first 2 weeks of using his insight, I was able to make bigger gains than most experts make in 2 years.
That's amazing. More gains in 2 weeks than most people make in 2 years. That's just stunning. Now, just like hiking through the Alaskan wilderness with a guide, nothing is guaranteed. I mean, investing always carries risk, right? Even with a history of past success, it's exactly that. It's the past.
But with a guide, your risk is going to be reduced and the potential reward is so much greater. My gains keep getting bigger and bigger. Some of my picks, John, they're getting 3 times as much as the stock market.
Wow. Now, in a moment, we're going to introduce to our audience this number one investor, this guide, so that they can meet him and learn how they too can follow his insight. But first, who exactly is he, Sarah?
Sure. His name is Charles Mizrahi. Everybody's going to love him.
Great. Now, many of you are likely already familiar with Charles Mizrahi. Sarah correctly said he's the top investor. In fact, Charles was named the number one market timer 7 years in a row. He famously called the 1987 crash and saved his clients millions of dollars by moving them out of the stock market. He then went on to make as much as 100% a year for his investors, drawing in big names such as Goldman Sachs, and he left Wall Street to help Main Street. He started developing a model portfolio they could follow, and he helped them see 48 winning recommendations in a row. That's 48 stocks, 48 wins, not a single loser during that stretch. He even went on to recommend TJX, the parent company of TJ Maxx and Home Goods. The stock saw peak gains of 630%. He also recommended the medical manufacturer Atrion. That stock shot up as high as 711%. And he even recommended Microsoft, which went as high as 827%. It's no wonder he's been featured on the major networks several times and shared the stage with the likes of Dave Ramsey and many other financial experts.
John, I think what's so impressive is that despite all those accolades, Charles is really humble. And after I discovered him and what he does, I just felt like I had to meet him in person. So I flew all the way across the country to do just that. I kind of thought, oh, meeting him, he's probably going to be this typical arrogant Wall Streeter. He's been a top investor, after all, for about 40 years. So I just pictured us having a really dry meeting with him talking about how smart he is. But really, we just hit it off. We talked about everything from being a parent, he's got 5 kids also, to his unique approach to investing. Before we knew it, our 1-hour meeting, it turned into a 3-hour visit. He came from a middle-class family. He started his own business when he was in 5th grade.
Wow.
He's about as Main Street can get. In fact, this event, the American Prosperity Summit, it was his idea. He said, I want to be your guide. I'll even pay you to try it out and make a few investments and read the material. When you see how amazing it is, let's work together to help millions of Americans. So I agreed.
And I'm guessing so far you've had a great experience.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. As mentioned, in 2 weeks, my investment gains were bigger than what most experts make in 2 years. And since then, they've just gotten bigger and bigger. In fact, every single one of my investments, they're up. I'm adding 1,000, and these aren't small gains.
Even though the stock market went up, you were getting 3 times the gains.
Yep, that's right. It went up this much, stock market did, and my stocks went up this much.
All right, with that said, let's patch Charles in. What do you say, so our viewers can meet him right now?
Great.
Charles, how are you?
Hi, John. Hi, Sarah.
Charles, I just want to thank you for joining us for the American Prosperity Summit today.
I'm really excited to be part of this mission to help millions of Americans reach financial freedom. This is something special. This is going to change the way people invest. It's going to completely disrupt Wall Street. Millions of Americans, I believe, can make millions of dollars, millions of them. This is fantastic.
So, Charles, Sarah just told us how you're guiding her, helping her make bigger investment gains in 2 weeks than most experts make in 2 years. And, I think everyone watching could benefit from you being their guide as well. But first, tell us what inspired you to walk away from Wall Street and be a guide from Main Street.
Well, as you said, I've spent decades working on Wall Street, helping my clients such as Goldman Sachs make gains as high as 100% a year. And it was great. But my heart has always been on Main Street. You see, I didn't grow up wealthy. My father had to work long hours to make ends meet. And so, while it was nice to make money for the big firms on Wall Street, I always wanted to try to find a way to help folks like my parents. So after nearly 2 decades of success as a money manager during the 80s and 90s, I decided to leave Wall Street and start guiding those that lived on Main Street.
Got it. Okay. You've helped a lot of people win, Charles. You really have. And our viewers here today should see the kind of gains you can help them make. I've shown this already, but it's worth showing again. In your first work with regular Americans, you made 48 winning investment recommendations in a row. 48. I have a list of them right here. All right, that's a 173% gain on Ross Stores, a 168% gain on Centel, a 130% gain on Carbo, a 194% gain on HCC Insurance, and a 188% gain on Daktronics. You went on to see peak profits of 302% on General Dynamics, 311% on Raytheon, 413% on Apple, 630% on TJX Companies, 653% on Huntington, 711% on Atrium, and a whopping 827% on Microsoft. Charles, those are incredible.
I appreciate that, John. It's exciting, especially when I think about the hardworking Americans who use my recommendations to better their lives.
These are real people making real profits. That's big. In fact, I have a few examples of these people who, from prior research services, used your insight to make incredible profits. Just listen to what they have to say here.
I am up 103% on one stock in just 16 months. I believe so strongly in your approach. I hold 17 positions you've recommended. Thanks for your guidance.
I'm up 95% in less than a year and a half. I appreciate these recommendations, but what I really like is the why behind them. Keep up the great work.
I've been with you almost a decade now, Charles, and man, am I thankful. I've relied on you for 90% of my investments. You have made me a lot of money. I came to the USA with 2 suitcases and a young family 23 years ago, and I'm now living the American dream due in large part to you. I have come to trust you enormously. God bless.
My goal is turning $60,000 that I started with into $1 million in the next 10 years, when I plan on retiring, and I'm going all in. Keep up the good work and great job.
Charles, there are several other examples just like these. The point is that you took your skill set, the one that you used to help on Wall Street, and now you're helping those on Main Street, and that's just awesome.
Making an impact on people's lives really warms my heart. Sarah mentioned a 42-year-old single mother who's now using me as a guide. All she wants is to provide for her 3 kids. But John, I want to do so much more than that. I want to help her reach every one of her financial dreams.
Oh man, I love that you're helping hardworking Main Street Americans. What could be more fun?
Exactly. And here's the thing. I've been wanting to help even more people. So when I had the chance to meet with you, Sarah, I tossed out the idea. How can we help millions of hardworking Americans achieve their financial dreams?
And we decided that after I had plenty of time to use Charles's insight and his recommendations and to see the results for myself, I saw how simple it is and how fun it is and how profitable it can be, that we would hold then the American Prosperity Summit with a bold mission. And that's to help all those who watch it. And that means you guys watching right now, everybody make $1 million.
Okay, so here we are, Sarah. You'd had the chance to use Charles's recommendations, and the results are in, right?
I love it. I love it. It's exactly what I needed. And it took only about 15 minutes to get everything set up. What used to take me years to make, John, I can make now in weeks.
So let me guess, you think that those watching right now could actually benefit from Charles's insight?
Absolutely, I do. And too, I enjoy investing now. It's not a task, it's not stressful. Making money is fun. The gains rolling into my brokerage account, they're bigger than I could have anticipated.
That is awesome. That's just great. Now, in a moment, Sarah will show you the secret weapon on her laptop, a way for you to get the exact same access to Charles that she has. And then Charles is even going to give you the details on his #1 stock pick, a company sitting at the forefront of a $708 billion market that's about to soar higher. But first, I got a question, Charles.
Sure.
Why is it that most professionals on Wall Street, 92% of them, can't beat the overall market's returns, but you can?
Because they're not alpha investors. Let me explain. Let's first take a look at the term investor. For most people, including those on Wall Street, when they think about the stock market, the first thing that comes to mind are the wiggles and jiggles on a stock chart. They're trying to figure out how to make a quick buck. That's not investing. That's trading. It's speculating. Back in the 1960s, people used to own stocks for an average of 8 years. Now, it's less than a year because everyone is trading.
Wow, less than a year. So we have to go back to what it means to be an investor, right?
Exactly. When you're investing in a company, you have to look at it like you're becoming a partner in their business, an owner. And as an owner, you don't focus on what's happening today or even the next month. You're looking 3 to 5 years down the road.
Allow me to jump in. That means that you get the privilege of ignoring all the noise. People freak out when they see their stock prices going down, and when you're an owner, though, you don't have to worry about that. You simply remember why you became an owner. And if nothing has changed that company, you hang in there. Because great companies, they're going to get stronger during downturns even, and that stock price will eventually go up, way up.
Okay, so it's a mentality. You shift from trader to an investor, not wiggles and jiggles on a chart, just facts, right? Now, Charles, what's the alpha part of all this?
We all know what an alpha is. An alpha is the leader. Well, it also has a financial meaning. Alpha is the excess return on an investment relative to the benchmark. So for us, our benchmark is the stock market, the S&P 500 index. And if you want to create alpha, you have to beat the market.
Remember, John, we discussed earlier that option 1 and option 2, they failed to do that, what Charles is telling us, but option 3, using Charles as your guide, it could help you do that many times over.
Oh, okay, I got that, but that goes back to my original question. Charles, how are you planning to do what 92% of active fund managers can't do and what we can't do on our own?
I only buy alpha stocks. These are stocks that have 100% profit potential baked into the price.
All right, that would give you a clear shot at doubling your money. I like the sound of that, but how do you do it?
I have a 3-step strategy for finding these alpha stocks. Step number 1, the stock has to be in an alpha industry. Here's what I mean. The company is in an established but growing market. With technology, I'm looking for companies in 5G, artificial intelligence, and cloud computing. In healthcare, I'm looking for companies that are in precision medicine and treating the millions of baby boomers. You get the idea. Now, if a company is in a large industry that's projected to grow over the next few years, then it's an alpha industry and the stock has the potential to rise 100%.
As I say, a rising tide lifts all boats, right? And these are the types of industries that do make America the best country in the world.
Exactly. You don't want to be in a dying industry. For step number 2, I look for alpha management. In other words, I look for companies that have CEOs and a leadership team with great track records of increasing revenue, earnings, and share price over time. They're the ones who'll drive the business forward. Now, if a CEO has a proven track record helping his company's share prices go up over 100%, well, odds are it'll happen again.
Okay, got it. And what's the third step to finding these winners, Charles?
I look for alpha money. In sum, I want to make sure the company is financially sound. So I study the balance sheets, the income statements, the cash flow statements. I also read all the notes to the financial statements. Then I dive into the 10Ks and read every word management has disclosed about the business. And then I figure out where Wall Street missed the mark.
Now, that's the part, as we were saying earlier, John, that most of us just don't have the time to do.
Or frankly, the ability. I mean, I wouldn't know where to find a 10K. That's just beyond me. It sounds like a lot of work, Charles.
Yeah, you know what? It is. but I love it. It's the first thing I do in the morning and the last thing at night. And I don't have to do it alone. I have 3 dedicated analysts on my team. One took his first analyst position right after he graduated college and has never looked back. Another has a master's from Johns Hopkins with specialties in finance and technology. And the third one has an elite financial designation that puts him in the top 1% of the financial industry. My team is as sharp as they come. Plus, we pay tens of thousands of dollars every year for special data feeds that give us an edge. And more importantly, I still have my Rolodex of contacts on Wall Street who I'm able to call and get information from quickly. I spare no expense. My team and I are equipped with all the tools necessary to make the kinds of gains I made for my clients when I was on Wall Street.
All right, so to recap, you're looking for alpha stocks, stocks that have a 100% profit potential already baked in, and you do that by finding companies with alpha industries, with alpha management and alpha money, right?
Exactly, John. That's what makes an alpha investor. The hardest part for most people comes after buying the stock. We do the unthinkable. We wait.
Yeah, like the song says, the waiting is the hardest part.
Absolutely. Because here's the thing. Most people try to do too much. But as soon as we pick an alpha stock, we sit back and watch it rise 100%, then 200%, and even 300% or more.
Yeah, well, your alpha investor strategy has worked great. I just want to highlight a few examples from your past services, again, to show the gains that are really possible here. You recommended TJX, the parent company of TJ Maxx, back in 2010 at about $10. And soon after, Wall Street realized it was mispriced and started to bid the price up, and the stock soared, first 100%, then 300%. It eventually went up as high as 630%. And the same thing happened with Microsoft. When it was trading for $20, you gave it a buy recommendation. Afterward, Wall Street started piling in and the stock soared to $184, giving those who follow you the chance to make an 827% gain. Atrium is another example. You recommended the stock at $114. Wall Street realized it was too mispriced and bid the stock up to $900, giving the folks a chance to make a 711% gain. And you know what? It's worth repeating that you even made 48 winning trade recommendations in a row. I'll throw that list of profitable investments up on the screen again for everyone to take a look at. See, it's returns like this that truly help other people become, well, alpha investors. And as we've seen, make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Sarah gave a great analogy earlier. Unless you have decades of experience, you'd be foolish to go on a hike through the Alaskan wilderness alone. You'd want a guide.
Hiking alone through the Alaskan wilderness, it is dangerous. And the same is true with the Wall Street wilderness. Don't try hiking through it alone. Now, Charles has been investing successfully for 40 years. Let him be your guide.
Love it. Now, in a moment, we'll talk about Charles's #1 stock recommendation, an American-based company that's on the verge of potentially soaring 300%. But first, Sarah, to underline how powerful stocks like these are, how these big gains can really boost a portfolio up to $1 million, I want to look at one more calculation, okay? Take a look at this. Now, earlier, we talked about how the stock market typically goes up 8% a year. A $10,000 investment should turn into $217,000 over 40 years if you reinvest your gains. With option 1, paying a professional, you sacrifice 50% of the gains and end up with only $102,000. With option 2, investing on your own, the results are even lower, leaving you with a mere $48,000. But option 3, using Charles as your guide, is entirely different. Charles has made his former clients, such as Goldman Sachs, as much as 100% a year. Of course, past performance isn't indicative of future results, and nothing in the markets is ever guaranteed, but just a fraction of gains like this could be life-changing. For example, if you made a 20% return annually, that $10,000 would grow into over $1 million, not in 40 years, but in just a few years. Now, as you can see, these rare gains are literally off the charts, and that's a lot of alpha.
That proves that when these exceptional gains are reinvested, the returns, oh God, they can be incredible.
Well, just how many indoor basketball courts do you think that you could add to your house with?
A lot. It shows us that no matter the starting point, though, becoming a millionaire, it's possible. We can all fight for prosperity, and it doesn't have to take 40 years to win that fight.
Charles, do you have any thoughts on this?
You know, John, these returns are great. Of course, it depends on how much one invests. However, I tell folks all the time they should only invest what they feel comfortable with. It's their call. They can invest $10,000 or more in every single stock, or they can start with as little as $1,000. Watch it grow and add more money over time.
And that's basically what I did. And once I saw my investments going up, making more money in 2 weeks than most experts make in 2 years, then I did feel confident. I felt confident enough to invest even more money.
You know, Charles, to help folks like Sarah and the millions of other Americans make these types of gains, you created a special research service for them. The secret weapon that Sarah's been using to achieve her gains, right?
I did, John. It's appropriately named Alpha Investor.
Charles, I didn't tell you this, but I did some research on the service before I started using it. The first thing that popped out to me is that your subscribers give you a 5-star review, and that's so rare, especially when people's personal money, it's on the line.
Sarah, it's all about them. I want to help the 42-year-old single mother and the 91-year-old great-grandfather.
That's just awesome. You know, Sarah, maybe now is a good time to look at your laptop so you can show our viewers exactly how this secret weapon, the Alpha Investor Service, really works.
Look, I'm going to allow people, everybody, they're going to look at my laptop screen here. Okay, I'm going to log into my subscription with my username, my password. A lot of this is going to be blurred out for privacy reasons, of course. Now here's everything that I get. As you can see, it's pretty simple, it's straightforward. This is the model portfolio. I click it, and just like that, I can see everything Charles is recommending that I buy. And I have the name of the stock, the symbol, the buy price, the current price, and the buy recommendation.
All right, so let's be clear, Charles is not managing your money.
No, he's not. It's better than that, and he's better than that. I'm simply looking at his model portfolio and his research, and then I'm using that to make the investments that I choose to make.
So what you're saying is Charles does all the hard work for you. You can just log in and copy his model portfolio.
Yep. Any Joe six-pack, they can do it. If I can do it, they can do it. It's just really important that you invest in what's right for you. Let me share with you my screen again, okay? So to access more information on the stock and why he gives it a buy recommendation, I just click here and it opens up an 8-page report explaining everything. And this report, it's also sent to me via email when he first recommends that investment. So I can invest with clarity, with confidence. Best thing is, it is easy and it's an enjoyable read.
Well, like you said, it's really simple to use too. And if you want to buy the stock, you just make the investment with your brokerage firm, right?
Exactly. So for me, when I first started, I opened an account on my phone, and it was super simple. And then I bought 5 of Charles's stock recommendations, and all 5 of them went up exactly like he said they would.
Well, here's a question. What happens when it's time to sell?
Then a trade alert, it's emailed out. It simply tells me what to do and why. And if you wish, you can get a text alert even when the email is sent so that you can take action right away. And it's just super helpful for me, a gal on the go.
So there's no guessing, right? So Charles, you do all the research and subscribers such as Sarah make the final decision.
Exactly, John. And I should be clear, I only average about 1 new investment recommendation a month. That's it. This isn't a trading service. This is investing. It's all about finding the right companies and sticking with them as the gains stack up.
Got it. Now, Sarah, perhaps you can walk us through some of the other features of the Alpha Investor Research Service.
Sure. One of my favorite features is these weekly updates. These are short videos that Charles records every week. It's Charles talking off the cuff about the markets, and he's answering a lot of the common questions that his readers email in.
You know, I think this constant stream of communication is why Charles's readers have the peace of mind about their investments that very few people really have. Beyond just making money, they write in all the time about this calmness, this freedom that they feel.
Yeah, I think that this came in especially handy during the coronavirus crash. So many people were panicking, right? And they were writing Charles and they were asking, God, what should I do? Should I sell? He just had to remind them to stay calm, focus on the big picture.
You know, it's funny you say that. I actually saved the exact video that Charles sent out on March 18th. This was at the very epicenter of the crisis, the lowest part of the stock market. Take a look.
In the past couple of weeks, we've had some of those days where the market moved over 1,000 points, both up and down. We had one day where it fell close to 7% over 2,000 points. We've had interest rates plunge, oil market got decimated, and it looks like the end is near. I want to just tell you to take a step back, and I want to give you a perspective of how to look at the market, and more specifically, how to deal with panic on Wall Street.
That is really good stuff. And you know, Charles then gave 4 specific ways people can deal with volatility. And the comments from subscribers came flooding in, thanking him for this guidance. I'm going to show a few of them right now. Your message came at exactly the precise moment I needed reassurance to stay calm and not panic. You have been a beacon on a hill, cool, calm, and collected during these adverse times. That comes from Cliff H. Definitely put me a bit more at ease during this market correction. I like your no-nonsense approach and do have confidence in the companies that you pick. That's from Chris K. Thank you, Charles, for everything that you do. As the pandemic was spreading, all my friends and family were telling me to sell before I lost all my money, but I was too busy buying more shares. That's from Morgan A. Well, Charles, these are great, aren't they?
Thanks, John. This brings up an important point. When people try to invest on their own, they often see the headline news and make a knee-jerk reaction. You mentioned earlier, people cut their profits by 75% because of these emotions.
But anyone who subscribes to Alpha Investor could see that there was nothing to panic about, right?
Exactly. In fact, John, from an investment standpoint, the crash was an opportunity to buy our favorite stocks at a discount. I told people to scoop up a cloud computing company a few days later, and anyone who followed my recommendations saw a 41% profit in just 3 months.
I think this weekly update is a feature that a financial advisor simply can't provide. I mean, most of these advisors have hundreds, if not thousands of clients, so they can't take the time to talk to all of them and come up with a strategy for each portfolio. But through this Alpha Investor Research Service, you can be their guide.
Exactly.
John, is it okay if I show you just one more thing?
Yeah,
just real
absolutely.
quick, here on the website, okay? If you're new to investing like I was, you're going to love this section called Getting Started. It includes several special reports such as the Beginner's Guide to Investing, the Investing Manual, and the Portfolio Guide. There's even one called True Alpha, How to Spot Stocks That Will Soar Fivefold. And these are short reports. They can help anyone get started.
And this is great. And like you said, it's simple, it's fun, it's profitable. So Sarah, you have an Alpha Investor subscription, and you've been following Charles's model portfolio and research, right?
Yep. I started with a small sum of money. I bought the stocks that he recommended in his model portfolio, and within 2 weeks, thanks to Charles, my gains were higher than what most experts are going to make in 2 years. Wow. Since then, my profits, they've just gotten bigger and bigger. Some of my picks are getting 3 times the returns of the stock market. I haven't had a single losing investment yet.
Wow.
You know, it's really just made investing fun, and I'm in control now.
That is just so awesome. And in a moment, I'll show you how you can get a subscription to Alpha Investor risk-free, and we'll also be putting both Charles and Sarah in the hot seat, asking some questions that have come in from our viewers. But first, Charles, I want to ask you to tell us more about your number 1 stock pick.
Sure thing, John. This is an alpha stock if I've ever seen one. I haven't been this excited about an investment since I told people to buy Microsoft before it soared 800%. Not just because I think it will soar higher, but because it's at the heart of America's resurgence. This Tennessee-based company already employs 33,000 hardworking Americans, and it meets all my alpha stock requirements. It's in an alpha industry, a $708 billion market that's at the core of our economy. So it's a stable industry that's growing in good times and bad. And get this company, my number 1 stock pick, has virtually no competition. In fact, Home Depot tried to compete with them by opening a series of specialty stores only to close them a year later. This company also has alpha management, seasoned leaders who already have proven experience growing companies such as Home Depot and eBay as their stocks skyrocketed over 1,000%. And it has alpha money. Over the last 5 years, the company's revenue has increased an average of $424 million a year as its profits soared to just under $1 billion a year. But Wall Street is pricing it as if it weren't making any money at all. The company just reported record-breaking sales and earnings, and the stock is moving. One Wells Fargo analyst said, "Holy cow, sales will likely accelerate," while others ramped up their price target for the stock. Two big investors, Joel Greenblatt and Mario Gabelli, are loading up. They've already bought 49,000 shares and 83,000 shares. And the big institutions are right behind them. JP Morgan Chase scooped up 2 million shares, and BlackRock went in with both hands buying up 9 million shares.
Well, it sounds amazing. And all the details are in this new report. It's called America's Alpha Stock, the company leading a $708 billion revolution. I personally can't wait to read up on it. When our viewers get a digital version in their hands today, they can buy this stock for potential gains of 300%.
That's right, John. It will be their first step to reaching their $1 million goal.
Well, this sounds exciting. And with that said, we have a lot of questions that our viewers are asking, and I want to address them. So you mind if we take a few?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Okay, great. All right, this is the first question. It's from Nate in Michigan. This sounds awesome, but I've never invested before. I don't know if this Alpha Investor Service is right for me. Hey, Sarah, can you take this one?
You know, I never invested on my own either, and the idea of signing up for Charles's services, even that was new ground for me. I'm just really, really glad that I did. I took that step, and I'm making money. I think folks like Nate, he's going to also. So I say, try it out. Sign up.
Wonderful. Okay. This one is for Charles from Billy from Texas. I'm super excited to get started. Do you really think I can become a millionaire?
Great question. Look, nothing is guaranteed with investing. But yes, with my guidance, I think it's more than possible for anyone to become a millionaire. Sure, some people could become a millionaire sooner than others because some people are starting out with $100,000 while others may be starting out with a few $1,000s. But we showed earlier how a $10,000 stake growing at 20% a year will amount to $1 million. So yes, Billy, I really think I can help you become a millionaire.
And Billy, when you become one, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from all of you as you make your $1 million.
It's going to be a lot of fun, Sarah, to read these emails and hear those calls.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I'm going to move on to this next question. This is from Tom in California. Tom asks, what if the stock market crashes like it did with coronavirus? Will you get us out?
That's a great question. Keep in mind, we aren't traders, we're investors, and we look for alpha stocks. So if something changes in the company, such as the industry, the management, the financials, we might sell the stock.
But more times than not, alpha companies, the ones that Charles is recommending, they not only survive the market crashes, but they thrive. Their stock price might go down, but you have to stop looking at the stock price and look behind the scenes at what the company is actually doing. An alpha company usually uses a crash to advance their business to a new level. An economic downturn, really, it gets rid of the weak competition. And when things do turn around, these alpha stocks, they can surge higher.
You've been watching my updates closely.
I have.
You know, a great example of this is Netflix and Blockbuster. Blockbuster was already a mess in 2008. And when the crash hit, it couldn't survive. They went out of business. Netflix survived and then thrived, and the stock soared over 5,000%. So I'd encourage Tom to switch his perspective on crashes by calling them blessings. Because when the market goes down, it's an opportunity to buy great stocks at a steep discount, not a curse.
Also keep in mind, Charles has managed money through the crashes of 87, 2000, 2008, 2020. He didn't just survive every crash, he thrived.
You know, that's a really good point. You know, I'm getting a lot of comments from people who signed up already. Tim says, I just bought, super simple, love it already. Stacy wrote in, done, easiest decision of my life. Now this is a good question. Governor Palin mentioned Vanguard funds earlier. Why not just invest in an index fund and let your money ride? So Sarah, as a subscriber to Alpha Investor, what do you think?
Well, over the last few months, I've realized that if you want average returns, then Vanguard funds, they're a great way to go. But just keep in mind, you can't get above average returns if you're in an index fund, which by its very nature is designed to make average returns. So if you want a real shot at making that $1 million, you have to be a bit like the founders of our country. You got to be bold. I say invest in alpha companies. So that's what I'm doing. And don't get me wrong, I didn't take all my money and just start investing in these companies. I started small. 2 weeks later, thanks to Charles, I made more gains than most investment experts make in 2 years, and they've just gone up from there. So it made sense for me to keep adding more money to these alpha stocks.
That is great. Okay, next question. This is George from Illinois, and he says, I love what you have to say, but I likely don't have as much money as Governor Palin. So how much does an alpha investor subscription cost? So you know what? I think I'm going to address this one. To be frank, when I first saw this, I saw everything a subscriber gets, the model portfolio, the monthly reports, the weekly videos, the trade alerts. I too thought, this is amazing, but probably costs thousands of dollars, right? After all, when you were managing money, Charles, a person needed $1 million just to open an account with you. People would often pay you $20,000 a year for your advice. However, you're not in this for the money. So you're not charging $20,000 or $2,000 or even $200. All you're asking for is $100 for a 1-year subscription to your Alpha Investor Service. Amazing.
Right, John. Well, that was the original plan. But Sarah and I were talking before this event, and we're really serious about our mission to help everyone watching make $1 million. So we want to make sure the price isn't a barrier. So for the first 1,000 people who sign up today, we've lowered the price to $47 for a 1-year subscription.
$47 for an entire year. That's actually less than $4 a month. Charles, incredibly generous.
And I don't want to stop there. I'm also giving a 100% satisfaction guarantee, so they can cancel for any reason. Maybe they don't enjoy the weekly updates. Maybe they feel, 10 minutes a month is too much to ask, or...
Listen, this is incredible. And again, our viewers today get all of this for just $47. And if they don't like it after an entire year, they get a full refund.
That's right, every last red cent. My wife told me the other day, say, Charles, I've never seen you work so hard for so little.
Well, your Wall Street clients would have to have $1 million to open an account with you, minimum.
Yeah, John, but that's not the point, is it? Those letters you read from my subscribers just a bit ago, they're from real people who are now making a lot of real money and using that money to do a lot of really good things. Those are the people I'm doing this for. Again, I think about my parents and how $1 million could have changed their lives.
With that said, we have time for just one more question. Now, this is from Edward. He says, I love what you have to say, Charles. Do you also manage money?
Edward, I don't manage money anymore because I know a subscription to Alpha Invest is better. It allows you to invest on your own with my guidance. If you like it, great, stick with it. It's $47 a year. That's less than $4 a month. It doesn't get any better than that.
Thank you so much, Charles. Really mean that. So there we have it. Through a subscription to Charles's Alpha Investor Service, you too can become an alpha investor and have the chance to make gains in the stock market. If you're ready to join, click the orange button below this video. For a mere $47, Charles Mizrahi, a man named the #1 investor 7 years in a row, will be your guide to the stock market for an entire year. You'll have access to his model portfolio, his daily updates, his weekly videos, trade alerts, and monthly reviews. And it all starts with his favorite stock pick, detailed in the free report, America's Alpha Stock. It doesn't get any simpler, safer, or more fun and profitable than that. And everything you get is backed by Charles's 100% satisfaction guarantee. At any point in the next year, if you decide to cancel your Alpha Investor subscription, you get a full refund of your $47 fee, no questions asked. Sarah, do you have any last comments?
Sign up. Really, that's it. Sign up. Stop giving your money over to a financial advisor. Stop trying to navigate Wall Street on your own. Stop sitting on the sidelines. Start teaming up with Charles Mizrahi. Let him be your guide. He's been doing this for almost 40 years, and he is the best. So sign up. You literally have nothing to lose. You have so much to gain.
Charles, how about you? Any final thoughts?
You know, John, The timing of this is really perfect. There couldn't be a better time for our viewers to join and invest in some of these companies. Some of the stocks that are in my model portfolio, just using history as a simple guide, could soar 300% or more. So, if you're the type of person who likes to make big gains, join Sarah and me on this journey. Start with the stock I share in the free report you're getting today.
Thank you, Charles. And for those of you who are watching, thank you for being a part of the American Prosperity Summit. To get a risk-free subscription to Charles Mizrahi's Alpha Investor Service and get the exact same access Sarah Palin has, simply click the button below this video. And once you do, you'll be taken to a secure order form. For just $47 a year, you get access to everything you see on your screen. The model portfolio that gives you all of Charles's top stock recommendations, along with why he recommends buying them. Timely trade alerts. Anytime Charles thinks you should make an adjustment to the portfolio, he'll email you, and if you wish, text you. Simple instructions. Daily updates from Charles and his team. These updates are short articles discussing current news and unique investment strategies. Weekly videos. These review positions in the portfolio along with common Q&As. Monthly Alpha Investor Reports. These 8-page write-ups do a deep dive into the portfolio along with Charles's next recommendation. And of course, access to a members-only website where you can review everything discussed here along with unlimited access to our customer service team. A $2,500 value, all yours for just $47. And that comes with Charles's 100% satisfaction guarantee. At any point, if you don't like what you see, simply let his team know and they'll send you all your money back. No questions asked. It's as simple as that. Just click the button below to get started. And remember, when you sign up, you're getting guidance from the alpha investor, Charles Mizrahi, the Wall Street veteran who was named the #1 trader by Barron's, the very man who was paid handsomely by the likes of Goldman Sachs, Credit Suisse, and Citibank for his insight, the very man who made 48 winning investments in a row, so your odds of making $1 million in the stock market will be stacked in your favor. Those who've already signed up are reaching their financial goals. Listen to this. Ken writes, "Sir Charles, you have done it once again. You're reminding me of the great Joe DiMaggio with your consistent hitting. You knocked this one out of the park." Riza says, "I've been a member for a couple of years, and I'm looking forward to many more years ahead. Since I've joined, I've seen great progress and considerable gains." Barbara writes, "I'm 74 years old. I gave up trying to invest on my own some time ago, but you've helped me understand the system. So thank you for the gains. You're the greatest." So Charles, thank you once again for joining us for this event.
John and Sarah, thank you. Thank you so much for spearheading it. I can't wait to help hardworking Americans reach their financial goals. I look forward to hearing from our viewers as they start making their millions.
Charles, I can't agree more. And Sarah, this has been amazing. Really enjoyed it. Once again, thank you.
Thank you. I've loved every minute of it. Remember, Charles is helping me reach my goals. I know that he's going to do the same for all those watching right now.
And thank you once again for being a part of the American Prosperity Summit.